what? You got to change it up all the time when it comes to your hormones because of this problem of hormone resistance. So let's talk about how to change it up. The cool part is that I find in my practice that 95% of the time, you can balance your hormones naturally without needing a pharmaceutical. That's cool. So let's give you the RX. Here's your longevity RX when it comes to cortisol. Number 1, hit the pause button. Be like a race car driver. You have a Ferrari team who's going to take care of your telomeres in your matrix. Here's a do. I like to do do's and don'ts. I grew up with Glamour magazine. You know how they always have the do's and the don'ts in the back? I'm a girl. So do eat dark chocolate. All right, it lowers your cortisol. Fantastic. Have some at lunch today. Get some out of your purse, because I know the women in this room have it in their purse. I have it in my purse in the back. Don't. Alcohol. Now, I'm not saying everybody has to abstain. That's really only for the alcoholics or those of you who have a sticky relationship to alcohol. Often, when you have high cortisol and you have sugar cravings, you want alcohol. You want a glass of wine every day when you come home from work. And the very thing that you think you're getting from alcohol, it's actually robbing from you because it raises your cortisol level. It robs you of quality sleep. You might fall asleep more easily, but you're not going to stay asleep. Does anyone know what I'm talking about with that? It sucks. Yeah. So drink less, better quality. Drink less, better quality. What are some of the proven supplements? I don't know if you noticed, but there was this vast, uncontrolled medical experiment done on women for 57 years in this country with something called Premarin and Provera. And so I have a very high bar when it comes to what I recommend to both women and men. I want randomized trials to support any recommendation that I make to you. All of these things are supported by randomized trials. So that includes omega-3s, phosphatidylserine, also known as PS. The cool thing with Google is that you can spell this any way you want, and you will still find it. No one knows how to spell phosphatidylserine. Holy basil. Randomized trial showing how it reduces stress. And also rhodiola. So before I came on stage, I had a lovely drink from the tonic bar, and I asked them to add a little rhodiola. Because I tend to be kind of high in cortisol, especially in the morning. So that's the best time for me to have my dark chocolate, too. And then you got to master your sleep. In our modern lives, men need to come home from work and raise their testosterone level. One of the ways they do that is to try to solve your problems. God bless them. Women come home from work and they really need oxytocin. And when their man starts solving their problems, it doesn't help their oxytocin. They need to process and talk. So the idea here is you want to actually get Charlie's Angels working for you, not against you. This is if you're a woman. You want to have cortisol, estrogen, thyroid working for you, not against you. And if you're a guy, it's the three amigos. Cortisol, testosterone, thyroid. Number 2 hijacker, wonky testosterone. We're going to move a little faster through these other hijackers. Cortisol just takes a while. Testosterone is that hormone of vitality, plays a major role in mood, energy, growth, and repair. You want a balance between the wear and tear hormones like cortisol and the growth and repair hormones like testosterone and DHEA. You want a good ratio, a ratio of like 1.0 between the two. These hormones talk to each other. So in the language of an endocrinologist, what that means is that your hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, the way your brain talks to your adrenals, inversely affects your hypothalamic pituitary thyroid axis and your hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis. So ovaries in women, testicles in men. And you want to create a balance here. The idea is that there's a text message that happens. When cortisol goes up, these other hormones go down. So you want to be careful about what text messages you're sending in your body. Low T, male menopause. Testosterone is not just about sex and muscles. I want to make a broader case for loving up your testosterone, whether you're male or female. But here's what we know about men. We know that as men get older, especially between the ages of 40 and 70, how many of you men are between 40 and 70? Okay. How young are you? 37, okay. So, if you start to lose your bioavailable testosterone, the amount that's available for all of your genetic code and your receptors, it has a couple of effects. It makes you die sooner, hijacks your longevity. There's more heart disease, more diabetes, more metabolic syndrome, more osteoporosis, more frailty, and more brain aging. You get more forgetful, higher rate of dementia, higher rate of Alzheimer's disease. So we want to manage testosterone. It's really important. It's not just the anti-aging folks who are harping on this. These are some of the do's, some of the proven ways to raise your testosterone. Zinc. I love zinc. It helps your testosterone. It also helps your thyroid. You can get it from Napa cabbage. How many of you are raw vegan? Okay. So I imagine you don't eat oysters. I'm from the Bay Area, so I happen to love oysters. And they pack 74 milligrams of zinc. That is a lot of zinc. That's why they're an aphrodisiac, people, because it raises your testosterone and your thyroid. Sprouted grains, very effective way to raise testosterone. Lower carb count, it's a living food. Weight loss, that's effective for men who are overweight or obese. Certain types of exercise, especially burst training. I haven't looked at P90X, but I bet it raises your testosterone. I mean, just looking at Tony Horton, I think it raises your testosterone, right? And in men, especially when burst training is combined with intermittent fasting. Now, if you have burned out adrenals, intermittent fasting is not a good idea. But for men, the literature is very interesting. Weight training does this. L-carnitine, branch-chain amino acids. Don't have too much sugar. That lowers your testosterone level. Bisphenol A lowers testosterone levels, decreases fertility in men.